What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to react to a episode of Jason Whitlock's show. He had on Coach JB, Jason Brown, right? Now, I like Coach JB, and they were talking about Lamar Jackson, and he basically said that Lamar Jackson was washed up. Whereas though Jason Whitlock said that he thinks that this is going to be another breakout year, another exceptional year for Lamar Jackson. Now me being from Baltimore, I'm hoping that Jason Whitlock is right on point, right? But when I listen to what Coach JB says, and he makes some great points, and these points kind of really I gotta face reality. They kind of make some sense to me, but I'm hoping that he's wrong about Lamar Jackson, man, because I want to see Lamar Jackson. Um, I want to see Lamar Jackson get to the Super Bowl and finally win one. But I always say about athletes, right? When you first get to the professional level and you're basically, you're operating and you're running off of like your most of the time these athletes are running and operating off of their physical abilities, right? And so they need to learn how to play the game, whether you're a quarterback, wide receiver, running back. You need to learn how to play the game with your mind and not so much with your physical abilities, right? Because the physical part of the game just fades so fast, and you can find yourself like Lamar Jackson in year 7, and you want to be able to do certain things and develop certain skills and habits that are going to help you win, right? And so that's the thing, and that's what I'm hoping that Lamar Jackson can prove this year, that he has developed the skills and he has the knowledge that is going to help him be the kind of quarterback that can win a Super Bowl and get over the hump and then quiet down guys like Coach JB. But with that being said, let me play what Jason Whitlock and Coach JB had to say, and then I'm gonna come back and give some more of my input.
I think Lamar Jackson is going to have a season, a throwback type season, MVP of the league type season. I think that y'all have poked the bear, and the bear is going to poke back.
That's a crazy take. Sean King said if he's not on your show by next week, it's on site. So I just want to make sure I reiterate my boy what he had to say to you.
I'll address that later. Go
ahead. You know where I'm at.
I do know.
The players have spoken. The players have spoken, Jason. I don't understand. You and Smitty are very. Listen. So the players that play these guys every day. On one hand, you guys sit here and condone everything they say. Oh my God, it's a players' league and blah blah blah, and we enable the heck out of these players. But when the players speak and say, we don't fear this guy no more, he is not that guy no more. He's just the other guy now. Now, all of a sudden, they're wrong. Because this is executives, GMs, and scouts, along with players who voted on this particular list. And he went from 2 to 69. Nestled right in between an outside linebacker and a wide out. Not even big name guys.
Now, that is crazy. That fall from 2 to 69, man. That is crazy. I really can't buy into that. That right there, like I said, should be enough to really motivate Lamar, man, just to want to come back and just show everybody that what he can do.
Tell you, what it tells me is he had a bad year last year. And it tells me he has an opportunity this year to have a throwback season. This guy is a competitor, JB. You can say whatever you want about him. His throwing motion's unorthodox. He melts down in the playoffs. You can say all that stuff, but no one can say this guy is not a competitor. And he's the ultimate, one of the best competitors. And I think he's been provided the proper motivation. And just like I was someone, when he came into the league, I was skeptical of him as a quarterback. You could lump me right in with the guys, hey, man, move the guy to wide receiver. He's a competitor. He proved me wrong. He proved to be a very effective 2-time MVP quarterback. I think he's been disrespected here, and he's going to compete perhaps harder and more focused than at any time in his career. And I think it's going to produce solid results.
I hope that Jason Whitlock is correct. I think, like I said, I'm hoping that he's correct. That Lamar Jackson, like this really motivates Lamar Jackson to show people what he can do. That he can level up his game and get this team to the Super Bowl. Even if he just get there, I would hope that he win when he got there. But even if he just got there, man, I hope it'll shut up some of the naysayers.
The new coaching staff's going to help with Jesse Minter. And maybe that's part of my bias because I am rooting for Jesse Minter. His dad was our defensive coordinator at Ball State, and I've followed Jesse Minter's entire career. But I think they have Lamar right where they want him. Lamar, as Bucky just said, if he wants to get paid, he's got to play at a high level. And if he wants his respect back across the league, he's got to play at a high level.
The guy has more all-pros around him every single year than any other quarterback in the NFL. And he continues to get excuse after excuse after excuse as to why he's not good. I don't get it.
Not good. He's 2-time MVP.
And we know one of those are just like Steve Nash beating out Kobe. So stop. Number one is that we know what the real deal is about MVPs. Number one is the issue I have is CJ Stroud has more playoff wins than Lamar Jackson already in year 3 already. And at the end of the day, if I can have a defensive coordinator get together and game plan how to stop Lamar Jackson in the playoffs, then you're not the guy. Because I never seen a defensive coordinator come up with a scheme different than what we saw in the regular season when we played this guy twice in some instances if we're a conference rival in a Pittsburgh, Cleveland, or Cincinnati, and then stop him and absolutely make him look stagnant and very, very mediocre in the playoffs. That tells you something. That's all you really need to know. Very similar to Dak Prescott. Overpaid, under-delivers. His inability from the pocket in the playoffs to move the ball and be successful is the reason why the players ranked him at 69.
And see, that's the thing. That's the thing that scared me about Lamar, right? I just don't want Lamar, like I said, I don't want him to depend on his physical ability because, taking all those hits and after 7 years, he's not as fast as he used to be, right? And then teams do things to take away your strengths anyway. So you have to develop skills outside of what your main skills. You have to develop other skills in order you can't come back as the same player that you was last year and expect to get different results, right? So that's what, kind of worries me about Lamar Jackson in this situation.
There's nothing else to do than that. Here's the real reason, too. He is no longer Lamar Jackson you fear when dead read 1 happens and he goes to dead read 2 and then he runs out the pocket and goes hash, number, sideline and goes 80 yards. Nowadays, we have NBA players at defensive end, meaning the style of athlete, 6'5", 6'6", long, athletic, who also run 4.4, and he can no longer outrun those guys, Jason. Which all we saw in his first 7 years was a guy outrunning everybody on defense when things go bad. He ad-libbed better than any other athlete at the position since Michael Vick.
Now, let me just say this too about ad-libbing or just having the physical ability to outrun people. Sometimes that can be a curse because now you think, all right, well, I don't have to get better. I don't have to learn how to play from the pocket. And when things get kind of hectic, then you want to go back to doing what what you're comfortable with. But you got to get comfortable with playing in that pocket because it's hard to have any kind of success in the NFL if you can't play in that pocket. You know, you can't be a scrambling quarterback and think you're gonna, scramble and win a Super Bowl. You know, it just don't happen.
Nowadays, he can't do that, and he's sitting there with it, you know what, in his hand, and he's patting the ball. He's patting the ball with bad mechanics, as we know he has, and he can't beat you from the pocket with his arm. And then we use the excuse, we don't have no wideouts, JB. He doesn't have this. Every year, it's something else for the guy. He's just not a very good quarterback. He's a great athlete. He's not a good quarterback. I don't understand why we can't differentiate. But when Tom Brady comes out and says the exact same thing that I've been saying for 8 years, and when John Gruden comes out and says that the position is deteriorating at an all-time high, the same thing I've been saying for 8 years, then people start to listen. But when I say it on Jason Whitlock's show, I'm racist. I don't know what I'm talking about. Mahomes is mid. But it is what it is, man. Keep glazing, as the youngsters will say. But I promise you, again, the Baltimore Ravens will not advance past the first or second round of the playoffs once again. And then maybe his mom will renegotiate a new contract. I don't know.
Yeah, he didn't. Coach JB didn't hold back, man. He even said that Patrick Mahomes is mid. That is crazy. That is crazy, man. I just, like I said, I'm hoping that he wrong about my guy Lamar. I hope, but I always, I don't have an issue facing reality, man. Like I said, Lamar has 7 years to develop other skills outside of being able to just outrun people, man. And so this is the year that he got to display those other skills. And that's my take on it, man. Let me know what y'all think about what Coach JB said. You got to respect his opinion, though, because, he know quarterback, he know football. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.